bum 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 ba-dum bum 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 ba-da-da-dum bum bum ba-da-da-da-dun. Bum 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 ba-dum bum 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 ba-dum bum 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 da-da-da-dum bum bum ba-da-da-da-dun. And dun 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 but dun 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 bum ba dun 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 dun. I'm so sorry. I'm getting too old for that note. Hello, my friends. Hello, my friends from Mighties. I love to see my Mighties here. You're just great. You're always here. I see you over and over again. And those from all the other social media platforms, thank you for joining me. My name is Joette Calabrese, and I'm here to do one thing and one thing only every Monday night at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, and that is to teach you homeopathy and for you to share information amongst yourselves as well. So I want you to get a cup of tea or a cool drink, and let's get started, and let's go to some questions. And one more thought I want to mention for those of you who do know me. Thanks, friends, for joining me. It's always great to see you all. Yes, I'm in Florida. Just got in a couple of hours ago. It's really great to be back. Oh, I don't know. It's great and it isn't. You know, it's hard to say goodbye to my family, and but I'll be seeing one of them in about 4 days, and then another one in another 5 days after that, and then another one within that week. So they come and spend a lot of time with us. So in many ways, it's really good. So tonight, there are going to be questions that I'm going to answer. Now, I'm not going to take cases, my friends. I want you to understand that you need to ask the question in a kind of a generalized way. Not, my daughter has this and I've used that, but it's not worked. What else can I use? Or, what's the remedy for thus and so? And the reason I say that, it's not, in case you know me, it's not that I'm stingy with information. Hello. I give a lot of information. I don't know any homeopath who gives as much information as I do. So, I give a lot of information, and it's just that when we talk about a situation, a case, a person who is not well, I need to know, how old are they? Is it a male or a female? Are they on any medications? Are there any other concomitant conditions? Are they on supplements? How sick are they? What have you done? What has been done? What has worked? What has not worked? You see, it's a whole case. Excuse me. It's an entire picture that needs to be identified. So, for example, when I take a case, let's say it's a new case from someone, I have them fill out a form. I read the form with all the information. I read the form in advance. I get my thinking going, focused on this one particular person, and then I meet with them. And then once I meet with them, I have more questions. Yes, indeed, I have more questions. So, although I've made homeopathy appear to be very easy, and in many situations it really is easy, when it comes to more chronic conditions, it's also important that you understand that there's more to it than, oh, we use hypericum for a nerve injury, we use arnica for a head injury, etc. Alrighty, so hello, my friends. Hi, Donna from Delray Beach. It might be my Donna, might be my friend Donna. I'm not sure, but I'm going to take a guess that it could be. But if you're not my friend, Donna, I mean my actual personal friend, then hi anyway, Donna. Hi, Celeste. So nice to see you. Good to see my great teacher. You're very sweet, Celeste. Nice to see you all. So remember to like and share and subscribe. Keep us going. Keep us alive, because it's not about me. It's about all of us. Okay. All right. So let's get to some questions. And I know that what often happens is that you folks help each other. So you might just hop in and do a little bit of that. Okay, so what is the medicine for rheumatoid arthritis, joint pain, and immobility? There is no one medicine, my friend. Hi, Lynn from Los Angeles. There are a few remedies. And so I teach those and how to approach it, how to use them, what the potency is, what the frequency is, what to expect, and if that doesn't act, what we go to next, etc. in my course titled Pain, Make It Stop. Where do you go for that? You go to Joette's Learning Center. Joette's Learning Center. Look, do I want to sell you my courses? You bet I do. I want you so engaged in this. I want you so committed. If it takes buying a course, although I think the course would give you exactly, I know it will, it gives you exactly the information you're looking for. If you go to that course and you get engaged, guess what? You're not only going to help this person, yourself, or whoever else that's got rheumatoid arthritis and joint pain and immobility, but you're going to help many others. That's what I'm looking to do tonight, is to get you so engaged that you commit to it. Hello from Chico, California. Hello. Hi, Paula. They've closed the schools. Wow, says Paula. Where's Paula? Paula, I've forgotten. I think, are you in Wisconsin? I think you're up that way. All righty. What to do for a 14-year-old with a bad ODD and anger? Help, please. I'm desperate. I know how desperate that can be. We go to, again, I hate to keep going to courses. If I can give you a quick answer, there are 2 or 3 medicines that are very specific for ADD. And we find really great results with them. And that is in my course titled Mindful Homeopathy. But let me also tell you, my friends, ADD, be very careful with that ADD diagnosis. Are you sure? Are you sure about that? Be careful about having your child diagnosed by a school system where it will be recorded forevermore into that child's history. Additionally, look into what is going wrong with the diet. Is it sugar? Is it dyes? Could it be wheat? Could be any one of those foods. That can cause a lot of inability to focus. Now, here's another point. Little boys are like that. So perhaps I'm assuming it's a he, it could be a girl, but even if it's a girl, they need to get out and move. They need to move. Okay. Let's see. Someone called in or emailed and asked, let's see if I can find that question because I do want to answer it. I promised I would answer it last week. And I didn't. I forgot about it, to be honest. So I'm going to answer it this week. And that is, I'm going to paraphrase it because I don't have it written in front of me. But basically, this person was saying, my mother and grandmother and maybe her great-grandmother, I don't know how far back it went, perhaps her aunties, etc., had dementia as they aged. I don't know if it was Alzheimer's or dementia, close enough, because we've been talking about memory. And she's concerned that it's going to affect her. And so what can she do? Well, there are genetics, my friends, and then there are epigenetics. And if you don't know what epigenetics, what the term means, you might want to take a look at that. I'll give you a quick rundown of what it means. Genetics means this is what your DNA is presenting, and epigenetics is the science, or the I guess, yes, I would say the science where what your genes are being affected by what you're eating, what you're doing, what you're around, the pesticides you're around, the drugs you imbibe, the foods that you eat, the seed oils, the Diet Coke, the pesticides on the front lawn. Shall I keep going? The nail polish, the dyes in your hair. We keep going. Shall we keep going? Of all of those substances that can alter, shift the genetics. So you might say, well, my mother never did any of those things. Yes, she did. I guarantee it. Yes, she did. My grandmother never did those things. Well, you know what? I have to say, I think it's very likely that even that far back, we have to be very careful with what we allow ourselves to be subjected to. So what can one do? We can stay away from those kinds of things, and then we can eat in a very different way. Now, for those of you who are vegan, please excuse me. I was vegan for years. I was also macrobiotic for a few years. And I have changed my ways. Long ago, I changed them. Probably, let me think. I think about it in terms of the age of my children, and around that time, about 31 years ago, I dropped that. And I believe that it's very important that we eat saturated fats, especially animal fats. But coconut oil is fine too. We need it to build our brain power. Okay, let's see what else we've got here. What remedies should a person consider who has had many old root canals? Here's the question. What do you mean by many old root canals? In other words, they're still there and they're festering. You have an infection. You have a cavitation. The first thing I would do if I had a root canal, the first thing I would do is find myself a really good biological dentist. And it doesn't mean that he or she's going to be in your neighborhood, my friends. It is very important that you understand that a root canal that is failed or is problematic means that it is likely causing necrosis, osteomyelitis, deep bone infection. And so how do we get rid of that? We remove the plug. A root canal, in my estimation, and I'm not a dentist, but a root canal to me means, the definition in my thinking is keep dead tooth in place as a space maintainer. We don't keep anything dead in the body. If the tooth is dead, then it wouldn't have been root canaled. So if the tooth is dead, it must come out. So I also teach that in great depth in my courses. In the antibiotic alternative, I talk about that. And I think that's where I talk about it. Yep. Yes, Paula. Oh, right. I was right. Wisconsin. Do you have, let's see. Don't know if you can. Okay, it's sadly not ADHD. It's horrible trauma and rage where we would have to lock outdoors and our doors and knives. When we get, that is, you must. If that is something that you are dealing with in your family or neighborhood or wherever this might be, I'm talking to rather beat the beach. Mindful homeopathy, my friend. And look carefully at substances and foods. Okay. All righty. I'm at my breaking point, she says. Well, this is not, let me just tell you something. When we're dealing with a chronic condition, we don't say, oh, here, take this medicine. Okay, it'll be done. That is what homeopathy can do for an ear infection, conjunctivitis, strep throat. Indeed, we can do a lot of that. But if it's something chronic, my friends, either you must study it and learn how to do this, or you go to a seasoned homeopath. All right, so I saw Harry here somewhere. Where'd you go, Harry? Hi, Harry. That was a really lovely message you sent me. Yes, Lyme, you may consider looking into Ledum. You are absolutely right. Thank you, Harry, for passing that along. All right, what other questions do we have? I have heard, says Linda, that dementia and Alzheimer's referred to as type 3 diabetes. Food is very important. No doubt about it. What do we do every day? Do we pray every day? Do we watch pornography every day? Do we exercise every day? Do we say kind words to our spouses every day? What we do every day is huge. And so that also has to do with what we eat every day and what we drink every day. So it is key that someone look into that, into the diet. Absolutely. What new courses are you coming out with? Well, there's one that's kind of secret right now. I'm really excited, but I'm not going to tell you yet. I'll be ready to tell you sometime soon. But instead, we've been working very diligently on our academy, and our mastery program, and now our mastermind program, which we're about to launch next week. Is it next week? Well, close to next week. Very, very exciting. So, and then after that, shortly after we launch that, I have a new course that I'm very excited about launching. Plus, we have started our podcasts again. Those will start up within about a week, so you'll have things to listen to as well. Would you ever think of doing an interview with someone like Joe Rogan? I think you would be a fascinating interviewee. Thank you for saying that, Tanya. Is it Tanya? And what an opportunity, yes, to spread the homeopathic message. You're absolutely right. What do you recommend for chronic anxiety about health? Oh, horrible, isn't it? Oh, I'm so sorry. If you're suffering from that, I totally understand. I used to have that many, many years ago. For me, it was arsenicum album, but I'm going to tell you, we go to the course called Mindful Homeopathy. Joette's Learning Center. Scroll down, Mindful Homeopathy. It talks about all kinds of important medicines that you need to know about. Hi from Buffalo. Bought your book today. Any thoughts on 4 and 1 year old developing involuntary movements nightly in their sleep within days of one another? EEGs indicate centrotemporal epileptiform discharges. I'm sorry, it's scrolling up, but not seizure activity. I cannot give you what ought to be used. Involuntary movements nightly in their sleep. You know what I would say? I would say look into pinworms. A 4-year-old and a 1-year-old? Sounds to me like that would be my first assessment. I'm not saying that's what it is. I'm not diagnosing my friends, but those 2 children in the same household, start reading up on pinworms, and then I've written about it on my blog, exactly what to use homeopathically. But you have to determine whether or not the children have pinworms. It causes restlessness in young children, and they're highly contagious. Not generally. Oh, look at Sarah. Yes, Sarah May. Sarah says, Cinna, for pinworms. She has an article on her website. Yes, I have an article all about that on my website. Congratulations, you received 100 messages today from, okay, that doesn't tell us much of anything, does it? Oh, and here we go. Someone else, my staff, which is Nathalie, I affectionately call her, is giving you the post on anxiety from my blog. Absolutely. Let's see what else we have here. Would you treat an animal for an ear infection the same as a human with an ear infection? You bet, Sarah. You bet. Now, here's the difference. Animals, dogs, let's start with the dog because that's the most common. Dogs often get black discharge from their ears. If you were to look up black discharge from the ears in a repertory that is designed to be used for humans, that would be a whole different thing because generally humans don't have black discharge from the ears, but dogs commonly do. So that's where I kind of draw the line. But if it's an infection in the ear, we use the same medicine, the same potency, and the same frequency. We can do that for all animals: goats, camels, llamas, chickens, ducks, infant humans, teenage humans, middle-aged humans, elderly humans, men, women, children. It's pretty much, if this is the condition, that's why I love to teach it in this fashion, my friends, because it does make it much easier. If this is the condition, generally speaking, it's useful for those across the board. Let's see. So many people. It's so great. You are all answering each other's questions. I love it. If a 9-month-old baby is battling oral thrush, looks like he had a little bit as a newborn, but now is full in her mouth and a rash, and her vaginal area looks like candidiasis. Would you do both protocols, the borax for oral thrush? So, well, I can't give you specific information, Jennifer, but this is the way I always make my determination. Where is the most noteworthy, what is the most noteworthy location of this candidiasis? Where is it? Is it that in the vaginal areas it's burning? She's got terrible diaper rash from it. There's a terrible discharge. It's really severe. Or is it more that it's in her mouth and there's halitosis? Or it's coating the inside of her mouth? Or she cries when she eats or when she nurses, etc. Whichever of those two become the most monumental, that's the hierarchy. We start with the medicine that is more specific to that organ. And then we move on as we need to. Just because I said to consider that medicine for that organ doesn't mean that's it and we're done. Okay, if it didn't work, you're done. No, of course, we keep going. We keep adjusting the medicines. We meet the person where they are after we've administered the medicine. All righty. Love it. Jennifer's helping out. But must take for a few months to eradicate overgrowth. Yeah, I think that's generally true. If the overgrowth of oral thrush or vaginal is noteworthy, it could take some time, but you should start seeing a shift. What kind of a shift? You could see that maybe the burning isn't there and the crying out when she eats or drinks isn't there, or it's starting to get a little bit less frothy or thick, or she's sleeping better, even though you're not complaining, or she's not complaining about that. We're looking for concomitant symptoms to soften as well, not just for thrush, but for any of these conditions. Okay, are there any changes to Mindful? Will you update it for those who already have it? No, we're not updating Mindful at this point. We will be updating some of the courses, but not at this point. Joe had talked about boomeropathy several years ago before she started the academy. I did, Francine. You're absolutely right. I will do that at some point. Reply to Jennifer. Okay, here we go. People are helping each others. Elvira says infections in ears, dog's ears is usually leaky gut. It can be. It indeed can be. So watch what you're giving that dog. Don't give the dog commercial foods, my friends. Don't. If someone has recommended that to you, and I'm not going to say who, but if someone has recommended that to you, it's likely that they're getting, how shall I say? Oh, I'm just going to say it. A kickback. We don't want anyone, I don't get kickbacks from teaching you any of this. I teach you what I know, and that's it. I try to encourage you to purchase and get more involved in homeopathy and join study groups. I do encourage you to get a book, to buy a course, to learn more, indeed. But it's not hidden. I tell you exactly what I mean. And so, there are affiliate relationships between many of those professionals who recommend a specific food and say it's the best food for your dog. So watch that. Learn more about what a dog's diet really ought to be. Think in the wild, like poodles of the Serengeti. What would the poodles of the Serengeti eat? I'm being obviously very facetious, but think about what animals would eat in the wild, and that's what to give the little dog or big dog. Okay. I did flu prophylactic protocol with oscillococcinum from Boron in November. 1 vial, 1 per day for a week. My poor husband got really sick with the flu or whatever the week before Christmas. I did not. Happy! ! Says Diane. Nice job, Diane. Very nice job. Okay. Oh yeah, when my cat was diagnosed with diabetes, the vet pulled a binder from Purina or whatever and recommended a high-carb diet for a diabetic cat. Never went back. My friends, when a professional gives you information that you know that you are so far beyond, it's time to fire that person and find a good one, because they do exist. There are good vets out there. There are even homeopathic vets. There are good doctors out there. Yes, my friends, I have them in my academy. How do I know it? Because they're in my academy and they're studying with me. All righty. Are there any remedies that should not be taken together? For example, sulfur and calcarb. It's too broad a question, I'm afraid, KK. What you mean by together, as I'm assuming what you mean is that they're within the same schedule, not at the same moment. So let's assume that we're not talking about at the same moment. And it depends. I guess the best answer I can give you is it depends. Okay. Research a diet and controlled his diabetes myself with proper nutrition and homeopathy. Nice job, Vicky. Nice job. Okay. All righty. Well, someone's saying, replying to Jennifer, join Banerji protocol users. I'm afraid, my friends, that I have to say something, because I'm the only one other than my dear friend out in California who's no longer in practice, as I believe. I don't know if she's taking any cases at all, nor teaching at Stanford, who has worked with the Banerjis day by day, all day long, for 13 weeks, right by their sides. I'm the only one who has this information that is an absolute. And then when I left on the 14th week, I went back a year later and did it again, by their side, all day long, 12 hours per day. For the next time was for 11 weeks. And when I left on the 12th week, I came back to my practice and started to teach this to my students and to my clients. And then a year later, I went back again. And I sat side by side, Dr. Prasanta and Dr. Prateep Banerji, as well as their senior doctors, and worked 12 hours a day recording, observing and recording everything I saw. I'm going to tell you, my friends, no one else has done that. How do I know? Because Prateep told me. The reason we became fast friends is because he told me, I've never seen anyone as committed as you. No one has ever stayed more than just a lecture in Germany, or another lecture in England where it was 2 days of lecture. No one has ever come and sat with me for more than a few days. But I did it for weeks. All told, many, many months, over several years. So I'm going to tell you, how do you know that those protocols are correct? Banerji protocol users, I don't know, my friends. I don't know that I would trust it. Okay, let us see. Can thyroidinum 4C potentially resolve an interactive, or is it something that needs to generally be taken continuously? I'm not sure I understand the question, but thyroid conditions are chronic, so the medicine needs to be taken pretty continuously in general. I'm registered for tonight, but never have done this before. I'm trying to figure it out. My question is, I have many autoimmune conditions, so have pain. 2 weeks ago, I fell flat out onto my back onto a wooden floor. I'm still in great pain. I am female and 81. I have been taking mostly arnica. I think arnica is less appropriate than something else, Hypericum perforatum. So let me just tell you, if the pain is extraordinary, of course we think about a nerve medicine. If arnica's not acting, we go to another medicine, or we go a little higher in potency. So if arnica 30 is not acting, we go to arnica 200. And we use it more frequently. So that's the way we deal with injuries. That is how we do. And then if there's still a great deal of pain, of course we can add Hypericum, because it is a nerve pain. And Hypericum's all about nerve pain. Yes, we need the boomer class, says everyone. Kickback, says Stephanie, right? Raw food for dogs only, says Heinrich's Homeopathy. I couldn't agree more. It must be Lisa. I'm sure it's Lisa. Yes. Yep. Raw food for dogs. Raw chicken. What? You say you're worried about your dog eating raw chicken? What do you suppose a dog does when it goes out and chases birds and eats them? Just freeze the meat. Freeze the meat in advance for a couple of days, weeks, and then give your sweet dog something to chew on outside on the lawn. Oh, chicken leg, a chicken wing. Oh, you're worried about the bones? Choking on the bones? No, the bones only choke when they're cooked. When they're raw, they're malleable, they're easily chewed, just like what a dog would do in the wild. Okay. Terry says, do you still need a bookbinder business? I do, Terry. Please share that with me. Let's see. A few years now, but I found a website. Okay, let's see. Sorry, Borki and Abdul Rahman books tell you about what remedies to take before or after others or to avoid in combo. Well, let me just tell you, I find that that grid that you may be talking about in terms of what medicines are antithetical to each other, what medicines are inimical, what medicines contradict or counteract or are not to be taken simultaneously. Sorry, my friends. In all the years I've been doing this, and I've been doing this a long time, a really long time, 37 years. Close to 37 years, I'm going to tell you that I find that grid of relationships of medicines, if that's what you're talking about, is not very useful. Because I find that some of the protocols I teach are exactly those that are inimical to each other and they're taken simultaneously. So, sorry. All righty. And let's see if we've got anything else. These are great questions tonight. Next week, I'll answer one more question, and then we will be off because I have a class that I'm teaching, a Gateway to Homeopathy class. What remedies should a person consider who suffers from tinnitus ringing in the ears? Diane Jordan Siegler, go to Joette Calabrese. Tinnitus. My friends, save your questions that you are. Check my blog first. I've years of this blog. Every Sunday night, I send it out to the world, and I give you exactly the information. And if I give you that information on the blog, maybe you want to check that out first so that when you come and you ask questions, you can ask a question that I've not already answered so fully. Okay, my friends, it is time for me to go. It was wonderful being with you. I will see you next week. God bless you all.
With our homeopathic protocols, you learn your remedies. My family needs me, so I must know our remedies. How much to take, how often to treat, and when to stop, and when to repeat. With our homeopathic protocols, you learn your remedies. Athusa, no dairy, it's elementary with arnica head, arsenica fed, spigelia slither, orms from wither, no more. My family needs me, so I improve my memory. Not only the rems, but how often to treat, and when to stop, and when to repeat. With your homeopathic protocols, learn your remedies. Bella so red and arnica head, drosera bark, ignatia dark, source of frigid and cuprum to rigid, and crude itches, calica bonicum, let it melt on your gumbo, vista wheat are some great ways to treat yellow. La 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 la, homeopathic protocols, learn your remedies. With our homeopathic protocols, you learn your remedies. My family needs me, so I must know our remedies. How much to take, how often to treat, and when to stop, and when to repeat. With our homeopathic protocols, you learn your remedies. Athusa, no dairy, it's elementary with arnica head, arsenica fed, spigelia slither, orms from wither, no more. My family needs me, so I improve my memory. Not only the rems, but how often to treat, and when to stop, and when to repeat. With your homeopathic protocols, learn your remedies. Bella so red and arnica head, drosera bark, ignatia dark, source of frigid and cuprum to rigid, and crude itches, calica bonicum, let it melt on your gumbo, vista wheat are some great ways to treat yellow. La 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 la, homeopathic protocols, learn your remedies.